Welcome back to CCRPG. We are picking up with the pilots just after they finished rescuing H. Warren and his laboratory from an incursion of some sort. The details are still a bit up in the air. We're not entirely sure what happened here, but what we are sure of is that they have fought their way to the laboratory under great duress and a lot of pain and hardship, and were able to stop what appears to be some sort of coordinated operation between Cloak and some other group in order to steal the ferrofluid that you all discovered on your last mission, an attempt to abduct H. Warren. We left off just as the last person, some sort of very skilled soldier, was taken down by you all. Softened up at the very least, as Nolarian comes in at the end to drop him before he could take out Warren. What are you all doing right now?
I believe that I told Astro to take Warren and the briefcase and deal with the ferrofluid before it explodes.
I'll help.
Okay.
I'll untie Warren and help him to his feet, and I'll point to the briefcase and say, "Are the samples in there?"
Yes, that's where I saw him place them. Yes. I
Okay.
think.
Wait,
What do we need to do to get this to safety?
Maybe safety isn't here. We don't know if there are any left.
I mean, we gotta do something to cool this stuff before it goes.
Did anyone else?
Can I touch the briefcase?
I mean, it's right there. Yeah,
it's
not gonna
so
stop you.
one of you took it off. Dyne shot the chain that was connecting it to this soldier's arm.
Mm-hmm. Is it cold or no?
The outside is a little cool to the touch. Yes.
Oh, ask Warren. Is it safe in the briefcase?
Perhaps, but potentially. It depends. I don't. He looks shaken.
It's okay. Hey, take your time. Just tell us, how do you normally store it? Can we put it back where they took it from?
He turns around and looks at the on-fire machine that is like venting smoke up into the rest of the station.
Astro just says, "Oh."
Of course.
Well, in some ways, it's probably good that the ferrofluid wasn't in it, or I think we'd all be dead.
That's true.
Good start. Good start.
There are multiple machines, right? Is there only one of them?
There are. He goes, well, yes, we according to CHIMERA, when she entrusted it to us, she recommended that we split it up and research small portions of it at a time because of its instability. So we were having it distributed. We could always increase the amount that is in storage. I would need the help of my assistants to get it.
Yeah,
Your assistants,
they're nearby.
They're safe. I'll go release them now.
Wait, you should go with them and make sure they're all your assistants.
Yes, probably a good idea in case this is another ruse.
I'll pick up the briefcase.
Yes, of course. Are my people okay?
They were when I saw them. They're just a little shaken up.
Good. Who would fetch me coffee?
Glad to see you haven't lost your sense of humor, Doctor. Now, why don't you just take it easy? I don't want you dying of a coughing fit after all this.
He will, if you take him, Astro, he'll go back out into the main room with you.
Okay.
Before he leaves, I'm holding the briefcase. I'm going to ask, is there a safe place I can take this where people couldn't get to it right now?
There's a backup storage It's down that hall. There's a door at the end of the hallway. We have refrigerated general storage. It won't do for indefinite storage, but it would help for now.
Okay. And do you know if there are any other agents here? How many did you see?
The man, he came in with a couple station security agents. I remember a large man in a suit, and just those four.
We saw the large man in a suit.
He got shotgunned.
There still might be others, but I'll take it. I'll take it in there for now.
I'll read.
Right. Good on you. Good on you. Come on. Let's go see how everyone's doing.
All right, this way.
All right, he'll follow you into the main room. As he does, now that it's calmed down, you can see that the people in here who are tied up, some of them look a little bit glazed over, like a little shell shocked. The crying guy just kind of like has calmed down, but kind of looks like lost.
Yeah.
The person who like directed you to the office like is eyeing you as you come in, just like waiting to like hear what happened. You can tell he's like waiting for the report of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, ultimately these people are in various states of like shocked.
I'll just say to them, all right, I think the situation's under control. I'm going to release all of you, and I'd like you to help the doctor here get the ferrofluid back into safe storage.
Yes. Yes. One of the machine 3 went down. We recovered the sample. We're just going to have to redistribute it. I'm going to need everyone to double time. It would help to give him these instructions if they had the use of their legs and arms, sir.
Yes, let me do that. Just because Steve is the suspicious type, I know he'd want me to ask you. You recognize everyone here, yes?
Almost as if he hadn't thought to check that. He like squints at his own assistants and like looks at all of them like very carefully. He's like, there should be one more, actually. No extras, but where's I have his name here. Let me pull it up.
Really, dude, this is your time to get rid of a bad worker, okay? Just give us the name. That's all we need. We're not going to ask questions.
Someone who's up and pulling their weight.
He goes, "Where's Majula?" And then the guy who's like a little bit more cognizant than the others goes, She got taken away when you did. We assumed she was in there with you." H shakes his head dourly, and then he'll turn to you, Asher. Is like, Majula Berrigan is missing.
Okay. I will let the others know. Perhaps they just put her somewhere in a separate room. We'll search the facility and see if we can find her. But first, let me unbind everyone here.
All right. That'll take a little bit of time as you help them all out. What are the other of you three doing?
So I'm going to ask Evelene to help me bind this guy because I do not want him active in any way before I try to at least stabilize. I'm basically going to purposefully do minimal first aid just to make sure he doesn't die.
What, the veteran?
Yeah.
He is just glaring at the two of you through the squeaky toy, basically, that has been stuffed into his mouth. He looks like he is just furious and he wants to say something.
Well, I'm not going to do that because after we bind his arms and legs and whatever, and I do first aid, I'm going to take out that marker that we used in the other guy and write asshole on his forehead.
Evelyn's just kind of laughing as he's doing this.
Now that the fight is over and he's like calmed down a little bit, he sits very still, and he's just like seething. He's not like furious. He's not testing the restraints. He's not like trying to shout through the object in his mouth or anything. He's just very quietly like just burning a hole through you with his eyes.
So you're just gonna stare at us the whole time like that, huh?
We're not going to be able to get
bites
anything
down
out of him,
on the
Evelene.
squeaky toy, and it makes a squeak noise in response.
It kind of takes away from the moment, doesn't it? I say this out loud, like, squeaking really doesn't help, huh?
He is a
continues to
professional,
stare
Evelyn.
angrily.
We are not going to be able to get anything out of him.
Oh, I wasn't even gonna bother. I'm just, trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Of course, he's doing a pretty good job of that, I think.
All right.
Could I get you to take a look as I motion to my excessive bleeding all over the place?
I will begin doing basic first aid on Evelyn to help stop the bleeding. I'm like, Nalarian, what do you recommend we do at this point?
Well, our people have taken the other hostage that we took. I guess prisoner is the more apt term. They did something illegal and they were taken into custody. They're not hostages, right? Right? He like elbows you a little bit, like
I grin and I go,
agree with me.
Oh, I agree. I mean, prisoner. I did hog tie him. Oh, that's pretty good, right? Right?
Well, I'm glad to see that everything's under control. I think our next step is to figure out where these people came from and how they knew about this and what to do with them.
At this point, were we informed about the missing worker?
I think
assistant?
this is while Astro is still like untying everyone out in the main room.
Okay. I'm going to say, well, let's figure out what we can do with him, and then maybe we can see about identifying who, what, where, when, and why.
Yeah, actually, and Evelyn will pull out. I assume our communicators have some sort of camera taking functionality. I mean, I assume they're like future space smartphones.
Close.
I want to just take a picture of him just for reasons. I feel like we might need to know who this guy is. And of course, it doesn't really help that he's in his current state, but I'm going to take a picture.
Yeah. You take a picture of him.
Yeah.
You got it.
Very angry dude, tied up with asshole written on his forehead.
I mean, this was not meant to be hazing, but it just kind of played out like that.
Send it to Corsac.
Look what we found.
While you guys are doing this, Steve, what are you doing?
I'd be heading out with the stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Walking towards the cooler area.
Okay.
Do I notice anyone, or is there anyone as I travel through this area, or no?
The walls are like the halls are quiet. It appears that there doesn't seem to be anyone else moving around at the very least. You don't detect anyone on the way here, is what I would say.
Just because I think Astro would do this before he starts actually untying everyone, he would just let the rest of his team know that there's one assistant that's missing from the group. So be on the lookout. So you should all be aware.
I will. Okay, then I will go put it in the cooler then.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you all know there is a missing member of the lab team. You've recovered the case with the ferrofluid, and H is starting to like give commands to his research assistants to like ready the other two machines and like get them like acclimatized to accommodate more and stuff like that.
Where's my cafe mocha?
While this is happening, I'm going to ask Astro if he can look into recent outgoing, incoming communications from our missing tech Like from the
wait,
lab.
So what do you,
like
what do you mean
outgoing
again?
emails or things like that from the missing tech to see if Dyne is immediately suspicious that they are the one who informed.
The missing assistant.
The
Yeah.
assistant, yeah.
When you said tech, I thought you meant like actual like hardware or something. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, good idea. I'll find a terminal, and see if I can hack into the email server.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. Let me bring up the pilot sheet. Sorry, bear with me. I had it minimized somewhere. All right, so hack and fix, roll 9.
You are able to find a lot of her communiques here. Most of them are in her office, right? They're very much like replying to and forwarding back communications that are like, okay, yeah, I did this thing. Okay, no, I checked on that thing. Can you look into this for me? Get this to me when you can, like that kind of communications. There are a few outgoing things, but often they appear to be like supply requests. And things like what's the word? Like requesting not supplies. What's the
Provisions?
word? No, more like
like a quartermaster? Or?
No, it's because of the fluctuations of the power use of the laboratory. It seems like she was in charge of like contacting the system, like the people who run the station, to let them know when there would be fluctuations in energy use, so that the station could accommodate them.
I see. Astro will just say, I don't see anything unusual. However, if she was like a double agent or something, she probably wouldn't be using her normal work email account.
No, I mean, you are correct. So just we're here, so now was the best time to check that. So while that's happening, Dyne is going to look around to see if he can see if, well, she was like taken away, right? So maybe there's another exit in here or something.
From the main room, there are hallways that go off in like 3 other directions.
Okay.
I should say 2 other. There are 3 hallways. There's like one that goes directly back from the door you entered from, and then one that goes left and one that goes right. So like you guys went down the right hallway. The left and towards the back ones go to different places.
Okay. I'll explore. I'm gonna investigate the areas that we haven't yet to see if I can figure out where she went.
You can, because we're out of like immediate action, you can cover a larger area with your investigate. So you can take the time to do this in detail.
Okay. Yeah. 24.
As you investigate around, you realize that there are no official exits from this area. But you remember from when you were rescuing Wren back in your first time here, there are like access hallways for maintenance people that kind of spider through the whole station. And you notice the telltale signs of where those would be in some of the back areas of the lab. So there are maybe like 2 other exits to the laboratory through those that are conceivable to you.
Okay. I'm gonna say, Astro, you should probably give Wren a sit rep and give them an update on the situation, as well as to extract our very angry prisoner. Evelene, why don't you come with me? Maybe we can try and figure out where our missing assistant has gone.
Yeah, let's see if we can locate her. Hopefully she's all right or not dead or betrayed us.
Astro, where are you right now?
Yeah. I'm
I'm sort of in the main laboratory room where all the people were being held hostage. If they've all moved into the other room with the machine, I'll just sort of follow where
Okay.
the group of all the scientists are right
Which is
now.
what happens. They start working on that other machine. As you walk into the room where the captive person is, you'll notice in response to seeing you, the captive will laugh.
Astro will kind of look behind him, do like, is he laughing at me? Be like, huh, wonder what that's about. Maybe he recognizes me. He wasn't expected to be taken down by a big movie star. Were you, buddy?
He mumbles something through the thing in his mouth.
I'll say I couldn't quite catch that. I'll lift the thing from his mouth.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh no, he has like a gun in his mouth or something.
No.
His tongue is a gun.
I don't know, like a small laser pistol or something in his molar.
Give
I
you a
don't
tongue
know.
lashing, yeah. He takes it out of his mouth and he like stretches his jaw a little bit. Can't believe it's you.
You know me? You familiar with my work?
Yeah, in both senses.
And who are you exactly?
Me?
Yeah.
Name's Variance.
Okay.
I was muted just there, but I did laugh audibly.
How is it that you know me?
Well,
Just through reputation? Have our paths crossed before?
if it wasn't for your shitty movies, I would know you from your rap sheet.
Well. What was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought.
He threw you off balance by calling your movie shitty.
Yeah, I know. He really did. He's like, what shitty movies? I thought he was a fan. I'll say, yeah, well, you'll see that me and my crew, we have quite an extensive rap sheet.
No, I know. You have no idea how much trouble you're in.
Oh, boy. I'm so scared.
You should be.
What is it? Who is it you're working for?
I'm here with the inquest.
The inquest?
I am an appointed representative of the Cygnus State, and you have just taken an officer of the Cygnus State into custody.
All right. Well, do officers of the Cygnus State usually take people hostage and flagrantly throw around experimental technology that could cause,
You mean going
Lots
on
of
an operation to secure a dangerous substance that is under the care of, at the very best, an unreliable station operator? Yes, we do operations like this.
Well, I didn't have a lot of confidence in how you were handling this material. It needs to be in a stable environment at all times. You removed it from these machines. That put this entire station at risk.
In my cooled case with the head scientist that I was taking into custody under legal arrest.
So what do you know about this technology then?
That it is unsafe and should not be in your hands.
Who developed it?
Why does it matter?
Well, because we attained it from a pirate group, and we're trying to get down to the bottom of why they had their hands on this substance and who they were getting it from. I agree, it's unsafe. We're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Well, here's the thing. It's not your area.
Well, forgive me.
You don't have the jurisdiction.
I don't think you have the jurisdiction here either.
No, we do.
This station has always operated independently.
Yeah, and you're all living in the Cygnus state. And I don't know if you know this, but the Inquest is starting to take a more active role in taking dissidents like yourselves in. I suggest that you free me as soon as possible, and we'll see if they'll go a little bit more lightly on you.
I don't understand. If this was such a huge concern, why not bring a warrant? Why not try to handle this peacefully? Why go in here guns blazing?
Because we don't know what would have happened to it had we done that.
What would have happened if you tried diplomacy? Probably a lot less risky option than engaging in a clandestine operation.
I know how you gutter slinks think. You would have secreted it off to one of your space trash heaps to hide.
Well, that's a big assumption, and you know, if you're as good as you say you are, I'm sure you could have prevented that from happening. Anyway, I don't think it's fruitful to continue this conversation. So if you don't mind,
what do you plan on doing with me?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, because let me tell you this. Your options are very bad. My commanding officer knows I'm here and what I'm doing. So even if you kill me, they'll know. And they're not going to leave it unexplored.
Wow. I don't think I trust this substance in the hands of the Cygnus state right now. If you don't mind,
that's what I thought, dirty rebel.
I'm gonna reacquaint you with your little friend here. I squeak the toy, and I put it back in his mouth.
Just stares at you.
Shitty movies. Come on now. They were blockbusters. Anyway, he's going to take out his Omni hook and dial up Wren.
All right. Wren answers. Oh, thank goodness. Astro, how are you?
Good. We're okay now. The situation seems to be under control. We've subdued the invaders here and released the hostages. The one guy here claims to be a part of the Inquest, a representative of the Cygnus state, here to take back the fluid.
Fuck. Okay. Well, I guess the information we got that there was a spy from the investigations fleet on the station was true.
It would appear to be so. Also, regarding that, this is conjecture, but we are missing one of the scientists at the laboratory. We're searching for her now, but wonder if she could be your spy.
Well, it's nothing to rule out. How is everyone? Did Nolarian make it?
He did. Just in the nick of time, too.
Oh, good. Are we expecting any other surprises today?
I hope not, but, you know, the nature of surprises is you don't expect them.
Har har.
Listen, we're currently getting the fluid back into storage safely. What do you want us to do with this Cygnus state guy? Should we hand him over to you?
That is a good question, Astro. what are the chances we can make him disappear?
I suppose, we could try to bring him back to you, and he might try something, and we'd have no choice but to deal with that situation.
Okay. Well, I've been investigated by Corsac before, you remember, but their teeth are a little bit sharper than the last time they were here, and it took a considerable amount of my influence before to keep things from going poorly. So if you could figure out how to make this less bad, I would appreciate it.
I will work on it, but just so you know, he claims that his superior already knows he's here.
Yes,
so
that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. They would do that. They hold their hands up to their forehead and just start like they have a migraine, basically.
Okay, we'll figure something out.
This isn't what I was even going to talk to you about today. There's so much going on. Now we need to figure out what to do with the fucking inquest. And Astro, the next time we talk, come up with like 3 solutions and we'll just talk through them together. I need to go check on some things.
Okay. I'll figure something out.
All right, ta-ta. And then cuts off the connection.
I'll look at the guy and I'll say, well, you are right. You are a bit of a problem right now.
Squeaky.
So I am going to have to ask, hey, Steve, while you're trying to get this stuff to the cooling station, I'm going to need you to roll a check for me, please.
Like, just a check? Just D20?
Let's put it this way. It's a dangerous check. And let's have you roll it secretly just to me.
Okay.
Because depending on how it plays out, well, we'll just say that.
Okay. I don't even know what to invoke, so...
It's physical based.
Okay. I guess here's a D20. I can just click this little drop-down box.
Yep.
Do you want it blind to you so I don't know what it says?
Just blind to me, please.
Okay, let me make sure I got this right.
What's going on, I wonder?
You're not in the same room.
It's true.
There, you see that, I think?
I do see that.
Okay, I have no idea what I rolled then, so...
Excellent. Steve? We're just gonna have you sit on the back burner for a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, back to the other team.
Let me gather up.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go first. I did a lot of stuff just now.
Okay. We mentioned that there were some access panels. Does it look like any of them have been has more action recently than others than the others?
It's really hard to tell.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not something I would expect to be an easy thing to be able to determine. If you want to, I can make it like a difficult check. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make it just a difficult check, and you can tell me what you're using.
Probably spot. Spot details, objects, or people that are hidden or difficult to make out.
Yeah, go for it.
That seems to make sense. 8. Don't see much.
Yeah, no.
All right. Dyne is going to use the logic that if they wanted to exit the room quickly, they probably went for the one that was closest to the entrance of the room that they got led into. Whether that's correct, I don't know, but he's going to use that access panel and move through it and see if he can find them, I guess.
It seems to make the most sense here, I think.
And we'll see how that goes. Okay, Todd, back to you.
What's Evelene doing right now?
I'm helping look with Dyne.
You and Dyne are together.
Yeah. I assume, like, I don't know if I could make the same role. I assume that Dyne's role is for both of us.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
So you're looking through the access panel?
Oh, I was going to go, like, if they wandered into it as a way to escape, I was going to try to follow them.
Okay. So you're going in now? Evelene, are you following him?
Yeah, I am.
Are you telling the others that you're going into the guts of the ship?
Oh.
I would have told Astro.
Yeah.
Steve is currently in another room doing something.
Or not doing something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you don't even know the results of your own roll yet. It'll become apparent soon.
Yeah.
All will be explained.
Yep.
Yeah. Find out.
All right, so yeah, I mean, you two come back. Astro, you're still in the room with the captive and the scientists, making those machines ready to accept the additional ferrofluid.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Astro, I think wants to get a powwow going with everyone else when they're back from doing their things to explain, to discuss what we should do next with Mr. Variants.
VV.
In the meantime, wait, I'm sorry. Did Evelene and Dyne already leave, or did they come back?
They have come to you to let you know they're going to be investigating into the wall.
I'll say, yeah, that sounds good. Let me know what you find. When you come back, we got to figure out what we want to do with this guy.
Did you find anything out about him?
Well, he's part of the Cygnus state, part of the inquest, so he says. So having him here is a bit of a problem.
That does make things sticky, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll definitely, if we off him, we'll definitely be on the shit list. So, and we could make things very difficult for Wren too. But go do your thing first. We'll talk about it when you get back.
All right, the two of you head off through the access panel to investigate to see if this is a possible escape route they could have taken. After a little bit, H. Warren comes up to you, Astro, and goes, all right, he has a fresh cup of coffee in his hands. He goes, okay, my assistants have readied the 2 remaining machines. They should be cooled down and ready to accommodate the additional volume of this fluid.
Okay, well, I think Steve was temporarily storing it in the freezer room or something, so maybe I should go get him.
Yes.
We don't need to do that anymore.
Sure, yeah, we're ready for it.
Okay, I'll go get him. We no longer need to store it there, and we can bring it back and put it in the machine.
All right, I will await you here. Everything's ready to go.
Excellent. And just keep an eye on this one. I point at
H flinches a little bit when he looks at the guy staring angrily at him.
If he tries anything, just give me a call.
No, Larian's still there, right?
Oh yeah, no, Lyrian's there. He's he's actually sitting on top of the machine that's no longer on fire. The barely smoldering machine, and he just has his rifle, and he's like, it's like laid across his lap. Like he has the rifle laid across his lap, and he has taken out a knife and he's sharpening it.
Nice.
Then in that case, Astro looks up and sees him, and he's like, "Oh shit! Oh, I forgot he was there."
He gives you like he gives you a big winning smile. And he goes, "Don't worry, I got things here."
Yeah, I think you should be safe with him around. So, all right, I'll be back in a jiff.
All right. Astro, you head down the hallway that H indicated earlier that has their backup storage. You head back and you realize, this is where they keep some of their machines like that also run a little hot. It's just like a cooler area of the laboratory. You round the corner, and splayed out on the ground is Steve.
Steve, you okay? I take out my shotgun and look around.
You look around, you don't see anyone around.
I rush up to him and kneel beside him and check his vitals.
Can I answer? Or
as Astro starts like jostling you to take your vitals, you start to come awake.
Hey, Steve, you all right? What happened?
What do you mean? What? Where am I?
I went to get you, and you were just laid out on the ground here. Someone attack you?
I'll just look around and go, I don't... Oh, no. I feel the back of my head.
Yeah, just a big old lump on the back of your head. Tender to the touch.
And then I look around, like, looking at the ground and around me. And go, you have the briefcase, right?
I thought you took it. To store it.
It's gone, right?
You don't see it around you.
Yeah, alright. I'll just look at Astro and go, I got this far.
Shit. So there's someone else here. And they took the briefcase. You don't remember anything?
No. How long has it been?
It's been about blah 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 minutes since you.
It's been like 10 minutes.
Okay.
We'll say 15 minutes.
I am. I'm pretty beat up at this point.
You were already beat up and had lost a fair amount of blood from the fight. This person getting the drop on you, I mean, someone getting the drop of you in this situation would kind of spell disaster, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll just go, Astro, I'm lucky they didn't kill me. Probably only because I didn't see who they were or what happened. I don't know.
All right, let me help you back.
Yeah, I'll take his help and head back to the room with people.
All right, you head back. When you come in, H comes up and goes, "All right, we're ready?"
I look at the Illyrian and go, God damn, he's still here.
Steve got attacked. Someone took the briefcase.
Oh, that's not that's not good. Where did they go?
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm gonna start looking around the facility though.
No, Lyrian jumps down from the machine he's on. He's like, "All right, I'll look around. Where did you get assaulted?"
I just cover, like, my hand is over, like, half of my head and face, covering one eye. I'm just going, that's down the hallway. Astro will show you. I'll take your spot here.
All right, make sure pesky computer doesn't sneak up on you on this time. He punches you in the shoulder as he passes you, going out into the hall.
I give him one of those unaudible fake laughs, like ha 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 to his face.
Yeah, totally. He walks out. He has one of those straps on his chest where the knife goes into a holster that's like right on the front of his chest. So he like sheathes the knife and he picks up his rifle and he will, start checking around to see if there's any loose business.
Astro, I maybe you should tell Wren to lock down the station if they haven't already.
I'll let them know.
I just nod and then sit down on the machine.
Actually, why don't you take the Omni hook and call Wren while I go out with Illyrian?
For a moment, you probably notice that you look like that Steve kind of looks like you. He flinches for a second when you say that, and then just goes, "I guess I did lose it. I should tell them, huh?"
No, that's not what I mean. I just want to focus on catching this guy before he escapes with it.
I take it out of your hands and go, either way, it's fine.
Okay. Stay safe.
Then I will call up Wren.
All right. Wren answers and goes, Astro. Oh, Steve.
Astro's busy looking for the person who got away with the Pharaoh's fluid.
I thought he said everything was locked down, that you got everyone.
I'm sorry, Wren. I got attacked. I didn't see who or where from. It just black, and then when I woke up, Astro was there and the briefcase was gone.
Well, shit. I am just getting a constant stream of bad news. Okay,
I'm sorry.
Well, are you okay at least?
I'll live. We all got banged up pretty hard from this, but it's at least everyone is alive. Well, we're all alive.
Well, thank luck for that. Well, you take it easy. What do you need? What should I do then? Where did they go?
It sounds like you've got enough going on your plate right now. Lock down the station, maybe, if it's that important to you. But I shrug and go, I don't know what you want to do station-wise to keep this safe or not.
All right. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. You all just make sure you're safe. Lock down the situation, and we're going to have a talk about what we do next.
I mean, Illyrian and Astro are on it. They might find them.
Okay, well, that would be great. Let me know if that happens. I'd like some good news. Okay. Oh, boy.
I weakly smile before I end the call.
Okay. Dyne and Evelene, as you guys are rooting through the inner walls of the maintenance corridors of the station, what are you looking for?
I would assume any sort of signs of recent movement, or like someone has been through here recently, like some form of I don't know, like disrupted dust, or maybe some handprints on the walls. I'm not entirely sure, but that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, who wants to lead this check?
I've got Spot.
Yeah, Spot's the best thing I think we got.
Could be Investigate if you guys have that too, I think.
I do not.
I do have Investigate, yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, cool.
Would Investigate work there, Bob?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I rolled a 6.
You get a fair ways into the walls and just nothing. No evidence of any movement. Nothing even to indicate that this is a fruitful lead to follow.
Okay. We're going to continue down the way until it looks like we have like an exit, and we're going to see where that drops us out of curiosity, because it'd be like the first place you would leave, right?
Okay. The first place you find there's an exit here is like a it like basically lets out into like a vestibule where like a variety of other corridors meet up.
Okay. Man.
Is there anything unique about these corridors? Like, based on where we're standing, like, is there anything obvious to like where they lead to?
Just that it's like pretty centrally located.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we should be splitting up at this point, especially if there's someone armed. I mean, I'm not in the best of shape. I don't know if you want to be by yourself either.
Well, let's head back. See what's going on. They could have continued farther down,
before we go, can I just do a quick check to see if there's any sort of like anything on the ground or anything that's unique? It's just gonna be a straight D20. I don't have any triggers for this.
I just the sigils.
I just feel like we should at least do something rather than just give up. But I'm not entirely sure what that is.
What are you? Tell me what you're doing exactly.
Looking for anything out of the ordinary, something that we wouldn't expect to see down here.
I mean, you kind of already covered that. Is the thing?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, like you would need to roll to change the situation in some way. You could push the roll that Dyne did, but like just doing a spot check and then another check that's basically the same thing isn't going to get you more, because that assumes you've already done the best you can in this avenue, unless there are other ways to approach the problem.
Then I had nothing.
This is one thing, because we don't know that Steve has been attacked, so it's not like we would be able to adjust our current situation, really, Evelene.
I've been thinking about that too. Yeah, it's not like we have any reason to be worrying. It's like, oh well, we didn't find anything. We're still okay, right?
Yeah. So I guess we'll does the hallway we're in, like the area, look like the areas that we came down before when we were heading towards the lab?
No.
Okay.
No, like I said, it lets out into an area that's kind of like a slightly different part of the station.
Okay. All right. Then I'm just gonna like look around the hallway, see if there's like any signs of people in general, and if there's not, I'm just gonna get back into the access hatch and head back.
All right. While that is happening, Astro and Nulirian, you guys look about. Go ahead and give me just like a making sure things are good check comment.
Okay. Sure thing. 8.
What are you adding anything to that?
Can I add investigate?
Yeah, you probably.
Yeah.
Yes. So at a 10, you and Nulirian make a kind of like loop around. You check all the rooms that haven't been like gone in or out of recently, and you find no signs of anyone. Like, you are pretty confident that if there was someone still in here at this point, you guys would have flushed them out.
Yeah. Well, crap. I don't suppose you have any tracking skills, do you, Nulirian?
He turns to you, and one side of his mouth just tips up into a smile, and he smiles widely. He's like, why? Yes, I think people refer to me as a sort of hunter. He like polishes his nails on his chest.
Yeah, you seem the type. But seems like what we really need is a bloodhound to sniff this person out. We don't even have their scent.
Well, that is a problem. We'll have to figure out what to do here. At least we still have some of the ferro fluid. I imagine it will be important to know what it is if people want it so badly. I suggest we just make sure that no one makes off with what we have remaining or the scientist we have investigating it. If the state has taken their share of it, then, well, it's no shortage of atrocities they commit, So I don't know what you can really do against that other than, punch back, I guess.
Yeah, well, maybe at this point we cut our losses, send the other guy back. They got what they came for.
Yes, well, I don't suppose they'll be happy, what with you all showing them up. We'll have to tread carefully here, because it could put the station in danger.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern, too. And this station is kind of a home away from home for our little crew.
For me, it's a home. That is my home.
I suppose it's as much as a home as any of us have at this point.
No, I mean this is just where I live. This is your home away from. This is my home. I don't think you got the. You know what? He pats you on the shoulder. He's like, "Don't worry about it, bud."
I see.
Astro's doing his best.
You're not being symbolic. You're being literal. I get it. All right. Well, let's just head back.
All right.
Do I have time to talk to this guy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're just sitting in here.
Cool. Yeah, I'll push the squeaky toy in his mouth once or twice. Just to have it squeak.
Squeak. He furrows his brow at you.
I'll pull it out.
Huh. You're a good shot.
So are you.
I know.
Uh-huh. So, who were you with? Was it the other lab tech?
Who am I with? I'm an appointed officer of the state.
So you didn't get help from that other lab person? I don't remember their name.
I'm not at liberty to discuss our sources.
Look, I mean, they got away with it. It's gone.
He raises one eyebrow at you.
What, you got it, didn't you? They were with you?
He he furrows his brows a little bit, he's considers perhaps. Depends on what you mean, I guess.
I just kind of stare him down for a moment.
I've been tied up in here, and you know that very well. Why? Did something happen?
Where would they take the briefcase, and how long can it hold the fluid?
He smiles a little bit and says...
the doctor's here, listening to this too, right?
Oh, yeah, he's here.
The second question, I'm kind of looking up at him for. I'm asking, I'm directing it to the guy I'm with, but also just kind of looking up at him.
Variant says, well, if someone did get away with the briefcase, he smiles a little bit. Let's just say I was prepared for an overnight trip. You look over at H, and he shrugs at you and goes, well, I mean, depends on how good the portable cooler was, but it's conceivable.
If we lock down the station and it doesn't get cooled anymore, then at some point it's going to blow up, is what you're saying.
I would say that if it does not find its way to suitable housing, then putting yourselves in danger, I guess.
putting yourselves in danger. You're doing it. You took it.
He smiles and goes,
that was the guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he smiles and says, well, you could always not put the station on lockdown and let it get away to safety so your precious station doesn't blow up.
I don't think I have anything else to say to the guy. I'll just ask the scientist, like, does that sound right to you about a day? Like, do you think it would take longer, maybe?
It's possible it could last for longer. That the substance becomes very volatile at certain points. If it's not, it needs something in order to prevent it from going critical. And we've not been able to isolate exactly what that's literally the testing that Evelene put us on the track of, that we were trying to figure out when this happened. Okay. All we know is that if you keep it very, very cold, it can't do anything.
I'll look down at the guy one more time and go, Does the person who took the briefcase know that? Or are they just going to blow up with it if we don't release the lockdown and let you go?
I guess it
like, just asking him honestly.
Yeah, he said, I guess it depends on who found it. I've been trapped in here, so I'm not sure who outfoxed you, but some of those Skloak bastards are pretty wily.
All right, that's all I got for now then.
All right. I imagine eventually you all come back together.
Yep.
Yep.
So here's the situation. Someone took the briefcase. We couldn't find them. They're on the station somewhere, but the station is on lockdown. Doctor, how much fluid do you have that wasn't in the briefcase?
About 2/3 of it.
Is that enough to continue your research?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll run out of it sooner if we have to do any destructive testing, but I mean, we can still carry on, yes.
Perhaps maybe our best bet for the safety of this station and for our safety is we just cut our losses here, let whoever it is get away with the briefcase, and send this guy back to the Cygna state. I kind of nudge him with my foot.
I assume you told us about his where he came from and stuff, since Dyne and...
Oh yeah, you weren't there for that.
We weren't there for that.
Yeah, I'd give you guys the lowdown on all that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the path of least resistance. Let's just dump him out somewhere.
Or as Wren sort of suggested, we could disappear him.
The thing's not in his mouth, and I still haven't put it back in, by the way. So I guess he could just hear this.
Sure.
Oh. Ah. Oops.
Unless we're not talking here. If you moved us away, then I just didn't think we cared.
Yeah, probably move you away as out of earshot. I think that would make sense.
Okay, then we will have done that. I don't know. I just keep thinking that other lab tech might have been part of Cloak.
What is Cloak's relationship with the Cygna state? Are they working together, or are they competing with each other here?
Well, they seem to be working together. He seemed pretty confident once I told him that it was taken, that someone from Cloak got it and happy about it. And if he's claiming from the Cygna state, then yeah, they're working together, of course.
All right, well, it makes sense, I guess. Um. Yeah. So it depends on rooting out this cloak person is probably going to be a very difficult task. I'm not sure it's one we're up to, and it potentially puts the whole station at risk because he or she has their hands on a very volatile material that can blow up everything.
Unless they know a way to disable the what I assume is some sort of order or command for it to explode. I'm just saying that we don't necessarily know that it's going to explode. They don't get away.
We can wait it out.
How long would we have?
Don't know. Maybe a couple days if they keep it in the briefcase. If they take it out or try to do something different and are stupid with it, then maybe less. No one can tell me how long this briefcase is going to hold it, so I have no idea.
Seems too risky. If we simply wait, again, the ferrofluid might just explode, taking this entire station down with it.
Probably will, but I don't think I can't imagine the entire station would go down from this explosion. We've seen these mechs explode. This is a big station.
I mean, it depends on where it explodes, too, I assume.
I suppose if they
not that
purposely
we
put
want
it in a reactor or something, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have seen what happens when a mech that has the ferrofluid in it goes critical. It's a big blast, but this station is like larger than a today-sized large city. Like if you take New York City and put it in space, this space station is probably a little bit bigger than that. You know what I mean?
Okay,
that's why you need to take transit sometimes to get from places to places.
That's a bit different.
Like it would take out this whole area, like the lab, the hallways leading to it, like all the areas around it would probably get destroyed. And sure, the damage to the sectors around it would probably be severe, but like it's not something that would blow up the whole space station.
Okay.
What is around it?
I
assume if they have the ferrofluid here and know that, then this place is at least somewhat secure. So are there what is around it?
This is probably the least populated part of the station. It is the administration zones. So it's a bunch of like rentable offices and lab space and tech space, right? Where you can rent out or, long-term like lease for use for private industry and businesses. So like there's no residential areas nearby, for example. If it was to blow here, a bunch of like small offices and like, like a small like 2-person law office and like, probably a person who does taxes, like those kind of small businesses are in this area.
Okay. So, I mean, it wouldn't be like yes, it would suck, but if while they're working on it, it blew up, it wouldn't be the end of the station and minimal life loss then.
That's right.
Okay.
I mean, you can ask H about it if he has any like contingencies in place. He can tell you more about that. But like from your understanding of living on this station, that is the area of the station you're at right now.
I am curious. I will ask him about it. Just because like I just want to know what their plan is and what they were planning on doing in the first place with it.
Oh, well, if anything were ever to be detected to go wrong, we would immediately sound the alert. There are like evacuation procedures that if an alert goes off, all civilians are to follow. And where we are placed is at, if you've noticed, kind of the cul-de-sac of this section of the station. All evacuation plans would take everyone directly away from here. So if we noticed anything going wrong, we would hit the emergency button. It would, tell everyone to evacuate directly away from us. And worst case scenario, the station is equipped with pressure shutters that will seal off sections that have lost pressurization to prevent more of the station from getting, sucked into space if anything were to happen.
We might still have time to lock down this area. I'll look back up at the others. Should we contact Wren and try to lock down this area just in case? They're still in here.
Isn't it already locked down? Because I think she locked down the area until we gave the A-OK to remove the lockdown, right?
Yeah, didn't you call Wren?
It has like, so you might be talking about different things, and I don't know what. But you have like security people minding the entrances and exits.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah.
Okay, that's what is set up right now.
I mean, if they're going through like a corridor or something, I mean, like a secret passage, then they're going to easily get out.
I'm not saying we wait them out. And yes, there's a secret passage or corridor that they're getting through, but Wren knows them. And Wren would have them guarded. So there's a chance that they're still in here. And if they are, we should take that. And that's our best chance right now, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
We just keep it guarded and watch it, and maybe we can find them. But are there surveillance cameras? Like nearby, outside?
H will speak up and say, well, all the private contracts here limit any station level security that would infringe on the areas we've rented or leased. But in the public hallways, I believe, yes.
Let's check those then, huh?
Well, let's call Wren then, and I would say the way I see it is we can present them with two options. One, what you were just saying, continue with the ship lockdown. We know no one can get in or out, and use whatever resources we have at our disposal to find the person that took the briefcase. Two, we lift the lockdown, try to communicate with the Cygnus state and release our prisoner to avoid incurring any further wrath onto the station.
I look over at the guy and go, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. It feels wrong letting a guy walk away that shot at me.
You and me both. I agree. If it was just us, operating out in space, on their territory, that'd be different. But I'm afraid how this will affect the station at large. Let's call Wren and talk through these options. See what they say.
Yeah, I'm not sitting too well of letting this guy go either, especially if he decides that he wants to get some form of revenge.
I'll hand you back the Omni hook. Just like it's natural, right? Like you do that stuff I don't normally, so I just hand it to you.
I'll dial up Wren.
Oh, Astro, what news now?
Well, no news. Sometimes they say no news is good news. But we've been thinking about our predicament.
Okay.
The way I see it, two options. One is maybe the more diplomatic route. We cut our losses, lift the lockdown. Whoever took the briefcase can take it back to the Cygnus state, and we can release our hostage here too. Maybe by doing that, they'll be satisfied and they won't harass your station anymore. The other option is we continue with the lockdown. I think if we expend enough resources, we can find this agent that stole the briefcase. It'll just take time, and eventually they'll be forced to find a solution to keep it stable. And the only way they could do that is by bringing it to the lab. What are your thoughts?
Oh boy. Well, um I'm going to be straight with you that I'm not really looking to worsen relations with Corsac. If we have one of their officers in custody, I don't know if any cards I can pull are going to help. We might have to cut them loose.
Yeah, that as much as I hate to admit it, I think you're right. That's kind of how I was leaning towards too.
We're not giving them the agents we did get, right?
Well, the other
What, the cloak
agent was a
ones?
cloak
Yeah.
guy, so
You're not speaking around the Corsac person, right?
nope, he can't hear. We moved away.
Good. Okay. Maybe don't let him know that we've taken the cloak people into custody. We could just perpetuate the idea that all of them got killed, maybe? Or maybe the one that survived is the one that got away, or something like that. Don't let him know we have one.
I haven't told him, have you? Or look at the
Nope,
others.
I haven't mentioned it.
He knows
Okay.
we got past them, so he knows that much at least.
All right. Keep the cloak member we have secret. We already have them. I've moved them to an infirmary. They're being watched. Maybe we just figure out how to cut this guy loose and let him go back to Corsac, and I'll see what we can do to smooth things over.
Okay, that sounds good. Should we keep the lockdown in place?
I'm two minds about it. If we open the lockdown, then maybe we can get the person who has the briefcase to leave, and then my station won't explode. That would be good. Otherwise, the thing that I'm worried about is obviously the opposite of that. If we keep the lockdown going and they can't cool it, what happens when it goes critical?
Yes. What if
I mean, we could
lift-
evacuate that section of the station.
What if you
In all
lift
fairness,
the
it might be
lockdown-
best anyways. We don't know what they're going to do or where they are. So even if we release the lockdown, we should probably clear this section of the station for a little while.
Okay.
What
What
if-
about
right?
the ferrofluid that's already there? What I understood from H is that it wouldn't be very mobile. It's not like we have other sites on the station that could accommodate it.
Minimal guards in the area, watching carefully from a safe area. We don't have to have it truly be locked down, but just keeping an eye on things and seeing the comings and goings, right?
So if we're worried this stuff is going to go critical, we should make the researchers leave then. We can't afford them going up in any explosion.
maybe just for a time until we feel certain that the coast is clear.
We might have to pause research on the ferrofluid until we can be sure that their laboratory is not going to blow up.
Another thing, if we do lift the lockdown, can you impose additional security to inspect anyone leaving the station?
Could and will are two different words here, Astro. I could impose that. It's my station. I have every right to do so. But if I do that, I will be making a lot of people very angry. You're still out of earshot of the Corsac person, right?
Yep, he can't hear
Right.
any of this.
All right. I let a lot of people skate by with illegal shit usually. That's kind of what I do. And if I up investigations, I'm not going to be able to hide those things.
This leads into my next question. How are we letting this guy go? Because, I mean, obviously we want him off the station, but it's okay if he just goes and does his thing once he's off, right?
Well, if they're working with Corsac, I assume they're going to take it back to Corsac.
I mean, can we just put him on a ship heading out that direction? Or to, capital Corsac? Just make sure we see them leave?
Well, if we have the Corsac guy in custody, couldn't we just tell him, listen, if you have a signal or something that you give to your operatives to, like, go to ground and get back to rendezvous or whatever other special fancy words they use, like, can we just ask him, hey, you're free to go if your ally has the ferrofluid, get out of here with it?
Wren, that's that we don't know how many there are here. If we just simply let him go while he's on the station, he might go for the rest of the ferrofluid.
That's my concern, yeah.
Why don't we just put him in a escape pod, shoot him out of the station, send the coordinates to Corsac. They could pick him up.
I mean, I can do that. It's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny.
I'm
I agree.
kind of into that, yeah.
He doesn't know that we're working with you necessarily. Well, he probably does.
Probably can figure that out. We've probably given enough clues.
I don't
to
think
that.
he knows the depth of our relationship, though.
The thing is,
you and run a thing.
It might be better to give him the ability to get back home rather than have someone come pick him up. If he has to go back to report to his superiors and then they need to come back, that gives me time to sweep a few things under the carpet before they can get back with inspectors.
Well, give him a shuttle then.
Right,
Let
that's what I
him
was thinking.
Leave. Make sure if he tries to come back, he's denied access, obviously.
All right, then we'll get him to a shuttle. We'll kick him off the station. He'll run home to his admiral. I'm sure we'll get another visit from that Winchester fellow.
Sounds like the best option in a shitty situation.
Well, this speeds up our timetable, then, because I don't want you all on the station when they show back up.
Yeah, that's fair.
There were so many things I already had to talk to you about today, and this just complicates them. We'll talk about it once we can speak in person, but I have the information you're going to need for your next mission.
Okay.
Oh.
Just we have work to do.
Well, let's if you make the arrangements for the shuttle, we can escort our friend to the docks, send him on his merry way, and then meet up with you afterwards.
All right. Is Nolarian there?
He is. I'll wave him over.
Put him on for a moment.
Okay. Here. I'll hand it to Nolarian when he comes by.
Ah, Wren. Well, have you figured out what we're doing? Yes, Nolarian, they're going to take the Corsac captive and stick him on a shuttle, and we're going to send him back home. I'm going to have a lot of things I need you to do between now and when they show up, so report to my office. All right, I'll be right there. He smiles as he hands you back the communicator, Astro.
Thank you.
All right, well, it was good seeing you all. I got some work to do.
So much for a relaxing weekend.
Well, I think I'd rather be busy anyway.
Thanks, by the way.
Yeah, and also sorry, because I feel like we're responsible for all this. We did bring the ferrofluid to you.
Nolarian will kind of like bow as he leaves and goes, Well, I'm glad I could help. You and Wren can work out your nonsense, and I'll work out mine.
All right. Well, nice meeting you, Nolarian. I don't think I've met you before.
He smiles and goes,
Quite
"That's a
the
shame.
character.
The next time you're back, maybe I'll invite you to do some training with me. I'm sure Steve can vouch for its efficacy."
Asher just kind of cocks his head.
I smile and go, Evelene might need a little bit more training too. She left the one guy there sitting and bleeding.
Look,
Nolarian looks at you, Evelene.
Look, I wasn't sure if we were going to have anyone alive. I figured that, keep one person we can interrogate. It just didn't pan out that well.
I'm busting your chops, Evelene. You did good in a firefight.
Well, Evelene,
I would have preferred to get less shot up.
If you ever want to do some additional marksman training, let me know. I could use some company at the shooting range.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Maybe next time we're here.
Am I behind him? Is he not facing me?
Who?
Nolarian.
As he turns to Evelene, probably.
Okay, Evelene, you see me wide-eyed shaking my head at you.
Mouthing, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
As soon as he looks away, I'm going to roll my eyes.
And yeah, Nolarian will take his leave from you all, going to report to Wren so they can start to get some business taken care of.
In my best Nolarian impersonation, the best way to shoot bullets is to dodge them, so you go run downfield while I shoot at you.
You can dodge.
Yeah, I think I might skip on the training sessions as well then.
All right, so what's the plan from here?
All right, so I think we take our friend to the shuttle bay or docks or whatever Wren is going to set up for us, and send him off.
How abbreviated do you want this bit to be? Because I can just give you the details on this bit if you want to. I do want to through this section.
I do want to see what he says when I tell him what we're gonna do. So okay. let me just I want to RP that. So I'll go up to him. I'll take the squeaky toy out of his mouth and I'll say, "All right, well, good news. We're cutting you loose."
Did you report back to your people holding your leash then?
If you like.
All right. Well, glad they didn't make the wrong decision.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to not try to ruffle any more feathers. Listen, your cloak buddy, whoever it was, the one guy that got away, he has what you want. I'm sure he's gonna bring it back to your superiors or whatever. We're going to put you on a shuttle, send you off. You could go home to Corsac. And we'll leave it at that for now.
He inhales through his nose and then exhales slowly. Mr. Jamin, I just want to let you know this was a interesting little contest between us here. But just want you to know, watch your back and stay out of our way. If it's ever one-on-one between us, you wouldn't stand a chance.
Well, I personally would not like to deal with you again. But if we have to, we'll do what we need to. And we won't be so merciful next time. We had you dead to rights here, and we let you go. Just remember that.
Just be lucky. Just be grateful that you're lucky enough that there are larger rats crawling around the system, that the inquest doesn't come down on you.
All right, whatever. And hey, not all my movies are shitty.
He rolls his eyes and says, "Name one good one."
Oh! Evelyn says it in the background.
He actually pulls out a list from his pocket.
He pulls out as he pulls out the list. Dyne walks over, takes the list, and just walks away without saying a word.
Hey,
Were you working on that in the whole time we've been here?
those were all my Space Oscar nominated films.
Dyne looks at the list, looks at the guy, and goes, "Not shitty, mediocre at best," and then just walks out of the room.
They like to josh me around, but they know it's what.
From the background, Dyne says, "I'm not joshing."
I've never even seen any of his movies.
All right.
Anyway, you have a flight to catch.
And then, just as a reminder, at any time, if you guys want to zoom in on something that's happening, we can always do that. I always will make room for any scenes you guys want to have.
I just want to say that as I walked out of the room, I took the squeaky toy, and when we go to put him on the shuttle, I'm going to try to sneak the sneaky toy onto him, so he has a gift as he's leaving.
All right.
Well, okay, here's what I plan on doing, is that's tying him up to the chair of a shuttle, setting the shuttle on like an autopilot delay to like start going, and then just weaken his binds enough that like when he wakes up, because I'm not going to have him be awake for that, moving him or anything if we can help it, then he could like break free eventually, right? Does that make sense? Or
so stick him on it, so he's gonna basically be stuck on inner circle travel until he gets to like the gate at the edge of the station, and then by the time he gets there, you assume he'll be able to like break free and pilot the shuttle.
Yeah, and if not, it'll just sit there and then whatever.
Cool. Yeah, so you'll basically stick him on a shuttle that's autopiloted to the nearest gate out of the system.
In that case, the
Works
squeaky
for
toy
me.
goes on the dashboard.
So when he wakes up, it's staring at him.
You know, as much as we're harassing this dude, I'm going to get him a hat just so he can cover up the Sharpie on his forehead.
I mean, he does have the Sharpie that says "asshole" on his forehead.
I
He'll
know,
wipe it
like,
off eventually.
I know we're supposed to hate this guy, but at the same time, like, come on, there's a point where this gets kind of cruel, so I'll put a hat on his head at least.
Evelene with the soft spot.
Well, no, I never want to see this asshole again. I just feel like there's a limit.
So he calls his superior. His superior tells him to take off his hat, and his superior goes, "What the fuck?"
Exactly.
Maybe Astro should put a signed poster on the dashboard as well.
That's just cruel.
With his list of movies.
Yeah, he has multiple copies. He just only had the one with him. All right. Well, I think that makes sense. I think that's covers it on my end.
All right. So are we going forward to you all meeting back up with Wren then after you take care of this?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, Wren invites you back into their office. It is as stately and as well appointed as it was the last time I described it, with the large statue in the back, the one giant window that looks out over the station, the desk in the middle of a conversation pit that they have you sit at. And yeah, after they bring you in, like, well, I'm sorry that you all had to deal with that, but you took it like champs. How are you feeling?
Better now that I've gotten patched up a bit.
Sorry for bleeding in your room if I do at all.
That's okay. You won't be the only thing that's bled in here.
Yeah.
I need to get you all out of here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can try to patch some things up with Corsac. I technically have enough leeway as a private operator that I can put some complaints in. I have a few friends that I can call on to complain complain for me. I can make enough of a stink that they might want to just drop things. But if they find anything else here that gives them more legal footing than they already have, I'll be in trouble. So that includes all of you. They smile at you.
We're not trying to be troublemakers. It just keeps happening.
No, I pay you to be troublemakers. I expect you to make trouble. I just need to make you make trouble not here for a little bit.
How much time do we have on the station? We may still need to make some modifications to our mechs.
Well, you probably have maybe a week. It will take time. It depends on how close the Inquest fleet is from here, how many jumps away they are. I'll have to check, but you have at least a few days. So, on to information. I talked to my contact, who is working over with E2705, and she is eager to meet you all. There is some things going on there that don't quite add up, and she needs very badly for a group of people she can trust to investigate. It lines up with some of the things I'm investigating, and I think that you all are the right choice for this. The state is doing something odd with this Project Rebirth, or whatever they're calling it now. I told you all a little bit about it before, I believe.
Oh yeah, the terraforming project, right?
Yes. Well, I have a friend who is seated on the committee for this project, and she's seen some things go missing. Funds, resources for the project just disappear up in smoke, but none of the other project leads seem concerned by it, and she's worried that she'll be sticking her neck out a little bit too far if she brings it up. So she needs you all to go there and find out what's going on. Downside, they can't know you're working with her. Other downside, it is close to the core. So there are the difficulties of securing a contract to work there. Not any independent group can just go here and operate and take contracts. There are 5 groups taking part in Project Rebirth. And obviously, they would all want their own security contractors and agents to work on the project, but anyone who works for the project needs to be approved by the committee. Right now, there are 7 applicants. And from what I hear from my contact, there are 3 contracts available. One of them is for her. So, I need to get you all into this contract negotiation so that you can bid on the contract and win one of those 3 contracts.
Oh, okay. What do we need to do?
Don't worry. The contact I'm speaking of will have some pull. She's one of the people on the committee. She's one of the 5 officers on the committee, so she will be pulling for you. But there are only 3 contracts available, so you'll have to make a good showing for it if you're going to convince enough of the other people on the committee to hire you. Once you're hired, she'll be able to take your contract. She works logistics for them, so there's plenty of things that get shipped from here to there. She can make up enough excuses for why she needs you to go where she needs you to go, but you need to secure the approval first. It's a bunch of red tape, I'm sure you see.
I see. So what would be the first step for us to begin the application process?
The first step is to meet our contact. Her name is... where are my contacts list? Here we go. Her name is Effic Desaria.
Okay.
She is another station operator like me, although she likes to play the the loyal lapdog. He gets her into a lot of meeting rooms that I wouldn't be welcome in. And she passes some of that information on to me. I'm going to have you go meet her. They're getting contract negotiations ready. It's called the contract test, or contest for short. Yeah, they're not very clever.
Boo.
You're going to have to go there, and you're going to have to compete against the other 7 applicants to prove that you're worthy for one of the 3 government contracts. I can tell you that of the groups taking place there, there is the local station operator, Ethic. She is the head of logistics on the council. There will also be a representative from Apogee Material and Materiel, a representative from Lev Integrated Technologies, a representative from Unfolding Moravec, and the representative from the local governor. I don't know these people personally, but Ethic does, and she'll be able to tell you more about them when you meet her.
And these people, they're part of the committee that will be awarding the contracts ultimately?
These are the 5 committee members for Project Rebirth, this terraforming project. Each one of them represents the company that's taking part in the Rebirth project. Ethic is our in, and she will pull for you in the contest. But I'm sure you see that a little less than half of the people applying are going to get in. So you're going to have to do what you can to convince these other 4 that you're the best people for the job.
Okay.
Guessing we had to build up a good resume.
I'm sure that they're going to be bringing their own people that they want to work with as well.
I imagine so. What does the contest, he does air quotes, entail?
I have no idea. It's the special fancy name for their contract negotiations. They could have you do all manner of things, maybe do a job for them and see how you did, and maybe they'll pit you against each other in gladiatorial combat. Maybe it'll just be a really intense interview. I don't know. Ethic will probably know, so you'll have to talk to her about it.
Okay, understood.
She'll have more information on what you're investigating with the project once you get past these negotiations and have secured one of the government contracts. And then, while you're there, well, keep your eyes open, because I've heard a lot of bad rumors.
Yes.
Anything you want to share, or we'll find out?
I'm sure Ethic is better positioned to explain the details, but you know how we've talked about people, the downtrodden, the people who aren't the underserved. Well, there's a lot of them there. This planet was slowly destroyed over time by industrialization, and there are still people who are living on the remnants of the superstructure built around the planet during the time that it was operational that they're using now as part of the terraforming project. There are people there from all walks of life, and there's a lot of unrest, and no one knows why the government is all of a sudden putting a bunch of backing to this, especially when there's a possible war with the Federation of Former Colonies on the horizon, and all this nonsense with the cultists out there and disappearing colonies, and there's just a lot of things that are timed out very poorly. So this is another area where things are messy, and we're going to have to sort it out.
Yes, I have no doubt it's linked in some ways to what we found on the, I forget the colony name that we were just on with the pirates, but that place.
Yeah, I don't remember either, actually. I thought I did.
I had it written down.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking through.
Mentos? That's Mentos system.
Right.
Might be Mento.
Yeah.
There was a name for the specific settlement you were at.
I'll just say, for
that place.
Sake of conversational continuity. I'll just say the Mento system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense.
Um,
They will say to you, and there's so many things going on, it slipped my mind. Through my contacts, I got a message for you all from a mutual friend.
Oh?
Rock got in touch with me.
Really?
Yes.
How's he doing?
From what I understand, fairly well. It didn't come through the normal channels. I hope you'll forgive that I'm playing intermediary here and he didn't contact you directly. But we both know some mutual friends who can pass things along discreetly. From what I understand, he's going to be out of contact for a little while. They had to go radio silent. Something about a big operation, a big joint operation that they're pulling off with the Noblesse Affair. They might be out of contact for near a month.
I see. Did he mention anything about Torsay and how she's doing?
From what I understand, everyone's doing good. They're just, gearing up for. It says something about that the next. They were told that their next operation was going to be a big one, very important. They had to call back a lot of their agents from in the field to all work on it at the same time.
Interesting. Wonder what they're planning. I'm glad to hear he's doing well.
Yes, me too.
And thank you for passing along that message.
Yeah, of course. I just figured you'd want to know. Oh boy. Is there anything else? I feel like I'm a little bit scatterbrained right now. Sorry.
I can hardly blame you. It's been about 1 million things for you to deal with.
Oh, last thing. You might not be able to use your normal resume when applying for this contract.
Yes, I was going to ask about perhaps our reputation and how that might affect the contract negotiations. What do you suggest?
Well, it will make things both easier and harder because with your current reputation, people know you as fairly effective and good at what you do. But you've pissed off a lot of people, the right people, good on you, in fact, I'm glad. But also, that does mean that I think that corporate reps are going to be less accepting of your presence there if they know that history. So it might be worth the gamble of pretending to be a relatively unknown group that may make your negotiations harder in terms of, well, you don't have anything to prove your worth, so to speak. So it'll all be what they see at this interview process they have, and you won't really have a resume to bring in. It might make them also more leery to work with you.
But, I mean, they're going to see I'm Astro Jamin, and they're going to know exactly who we are.
Ah, right. You are very famous. It might be worth going under an assumed identity.
Oh, we could always just put a bag on his head.
As it so happens, I have been working on an alternate identity.
That's very forward thinking of you, Astro.
Yes, just some logistical things I had to take care of in order to continue my working relationship with my technology sponsor, Symbolica Labs, that were just bought out by Unfolding. So they can still provide me with the technology I need, but I have to be sort of working for them under a assumed persona.
Yes, that old trick. Clever.
Yes, so Dyne pulled some strings for me, and I have some fake credentials now,
good.
so I could probably use that.
And as far as visually looking different, I'm just going to slowly reach up and take off your sunglasses for probably the first time ever.
Holy shit.
He winces at the light, and I'm just going to assume it's not even bright in this room. You know, it's like mood lighting.
No, listen, there's a 70s style conversation pit in this room.
Yeah.
It's very mood lighting.
Yeah.
And beneath his sunglasses were a second pair of sunglasses.
Yeah. Perhaps I should grow out a mustache.
Please don't.
Wren looks very obviously at Dyne's very obvious mustache, and then looks back at you as if trying to envision you with that mustache, and then shakes their head. But no, yeah, I would stay away from clothing that you would normally wear, maybe dye your hair. But yes, I think that might work.
All right, well, that sounds like a good of a plan as any.
Well, Astro, I guess it's time to get into the role. You're gonna have
Yes.
to actually pull out those acting chops.
This is what I do. Meet
I guess
Xander Nova. He says dramatically. That's
Is that
my
the
new
name you were
by the
given?
way. Yes. Xander Nova.
Okay.
Huh. All right.
I see that the theatrics will persist into this new persona.
He's a mysterious man, an enigma. No one
Maybe we
knows
should-
quite what he's thinking.
Maybe we should get ready to go, Xander. We'll leave right away, right?
As soon as you all are ready, you said you need to do a few last things to finish your supplies. From what I understand, Curry has been in contact about getting some upgrades for your ship. And Astro, I believe you had contacted me earlier about expecting some additional shipments from Symbolica Labs. I'll have those just sent directly to your ship.
Excellent.
But yes, I believe that's all you'll need to know for now. I'll send you the information on where to rendezvous with Efik, and I'm sure she will be delighted as I was to meet you all.
Looking forward to it then.
They grin like if you don't remember, I met you all under great distress as my station was being taken over
attacked
by mercenary. It was a joke. The joke was, okay, well,
I look at Wren and I go, don't worry, it's only the third time today for Astro.
Astro just says, oh, but that was Astro. You're talking to Xander right now.
You're right, it's the fourth time today for Xander.
We've only just met, you see.
All right, Sandy, let's go.
Before you leave, Xander, here, Wren will hand you a small pin.
What's this? I'll take it.
It is a silver book pin. It's like a symbol of a book, and it's like a pin to put on like clothing or anything. It's like a pin.
Ah, a nice little fashion accessory.
They'll smile at you and just say, I'll get in contact with you later.
Excellent. Is it the kind of pin you would like put in your in your shirt or something? Or
Yeah,
like,
you
where,
could like
where
put
would
it on
go?
your collar or
Yeah,
you know what
I'll
I
do
mean?
that.
Like, yeah.
I'll do that.
All right.
Oh.
And with Wren kind of giving you all the update on what you're next going to have to deal with, I think we're going to pick up next session with getting ready to leave AO Station and departing on your next mission.
Sounds good.
What an interlude that was, guys.
Yes, indeed.
Oh boy.
When you get a chance, Bob, can you type Efix or spell out Efix name?
Oh, yeah. In case anyone missed it, their name is Efik, EFFOC. And then their last name is Deseria.
Okay.
Oh, I spelled the last name correctly.
E-S-E-R-I-A.
In my notes.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Well, we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Oh,
See
later.
ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.